Good morning and welcome in, everyone. Before we get into this morning's update, let's go over a few issues that we can see happening this morning. I'm doing my update like this because in my living room, it is jam-packed with the kids getting ready for school. It's very loud. So it was either do it like this or we were going to have no morning update because sometimes when you got 3 kids, it is what it is. So we can see XRP's down 4.3% in the morning. What could be playing into this is the credit downgrade that the USA received from Moody's. It was the last one of their perfect credit ratings, and the U.S. Treasury yield spiked on Monday after Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit rating, causing investors to dump bonds. Rates hit key levels that have pressured financial market recently. The 30-year Treasury yield was up over 12 basis points to 5.02%. The 10-year yield climbed 10 basis points to 4.54%. Meanwhile, the 2-year Treasury yield was up over 2 basis points. So, I mean, it's just something you have to pay attention to, especially in risk assets. The fact that the U.S. debt was downgraded by Moody's, that was the last of the perfect credit rating, which means it's now risky to hold on to U.S. debt. So it's something we have to consider with risk assets. We've seen Bitcoin go up and have its first close over 100. It was a all-time high close, I believe. Well, not all-time high, but it was close. We ended up a weekly over 106K, which I don't think has happened before. But now when you look at the daily, that looks like a full-blown reversal could be possibly taking place. So we need to watch this very closely with crypto. I'll do the 10 to 12 minutes here this morning to try to get us on the right track for this morning. But tonight's going to be a very important live to be part of. Around 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, extremely important as we see these market flips. And we see Bitcoin down 3.3%, XRP down 4.3%. In the live yesterday, we said we were interested in watching the gold market open because we thought it would probably open up hot. And we were going to watch the 10-year yield to see how high it rose. And it's telling us everything we need to know this morning so far. 10 years up to 4.54. You've got silver up almost 1%, gold up about 43 bucks or 1.3%. Mining stocks look like they're catching a bid early morning, but we'll see how it goes when the market opens. But right now our buys in the minings were perfect. With that being said, good morning. 7:53 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, May 19th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. So as we can see, XRP's down 4.29%. And you could look at this forward thinking and say maybe we're in a megaphone, maybe we're in this and that. But I think just for the time being, we got to continue to look at this chart. It's the end all be all. We had this descending triangle we were trying to break out of, which we did. Now we're trying to back test it. And we can see this morning, that's about the $2.32 area. If you want to look on this daily candle on where we need to hold. 4 hourly, we can see it's getting pretty strong to the downside. Bearish crosses in the 4 hourly. This is about the worst that could have started on Monday morning. For how it looked on Sunday, this is about the worst that could have started on Sunday. Now you have the head and shoulders pattern that you have to very clearly look at in the smaller sense. And this could get ugly. Top. So if this is boom, 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 that means it would have to reset all the way back down here. So we'll see if 231 is broke. My fear is we're going to come all the way down to around that 211. Maybe a little bit higher or lower, but somewhere around that 211 mark. Let's put this over here just for transparency purposes in case we had to come over here. So, I mean 209. So if you lose 231, pretty substantial drop that's going to happen here. It's about a 10% drop if we were to lose that formation. And then how far out of the distribution box does that leave us if we come down there? So if we come down there, yeah, see, that puts us right at the top of distribution. So, I mean, I could see a back test happening right there. It looks like unless we get hot here to start the morning, and we need to get hot relatively quickly in the 4 hourly, we cannot afford to lose $2.29. It's just, it can't happen. If you lose 229, that's your signal. You're coming all the way down. 231 is your first sign that something's not right, as we talked about yesterday. And right now, I mean, when you see Ethereum down 77 or 78 bucks in the morning, 3.1% to start the Monday, It's cause for concern. Again, Ethereum could not get over that resistance point, which is the rising wedge that it broke down out of. You got to get back over that and retake it and start working your way back up near $4,000 per token. Anything short of that, this could be a volatile reversal. Now, I would not be surprised to see Ethereum come all the way back down to 2,000 and still be bullish, because I could see a 20% drop coming between 15 and 20% market wide. Now, that is a bull flag unless it gets broken down. So if we can hold 2250, let's say, this would still stay perfectly intact. Then it could build out a right shoulder. It doesn't have to come all the way down to 2,000. But I think 2250 is probably in the real possibility here. And the way it started, this is horrible. This looks ugly. It looks like trash this morning. And it can just be the early morning wake up. But right now, Bitcoin dominance is starting to V. So if Bitcoin dominance this morning and this daily candle breaks above 64% and closes above there, you know we're probably going to have a little bit of pain to start the week. I mean, we're having some pain to start the week. There's no doubt about that. The XRP Bitcoin pairing is down 1.01% at the 2258 sat level, but it's continuing to dump down now. Down to the 200-day. Looks like it invalidated the little structure here, but it's still above that 2246. But again, we've talked about this possibility of coming all the way back down and back testing the breakout of this pattern. I still see it as a distinct possibility. We were trying to see how to avoid it, but that, if you talk about that, that's a 64% drop compared to the Bitcoin dominance. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean XRP's price is falling down to 150, maybe worse? Or does that mean we come down and Bitcoin's dropping harder? Does Bitcoin go up and XRP stays the same and goes down? There's really no way of telling, and if we come down like that, that's a significant drop. It would be a great back test, but a significant drop in price. So we'll see how that pans out. We really don't want to go down there for 65% ride, in my opinion. But hey, you never know. If you're looking to trade XRP or your favorite crypto worldwide, and you're sick of paying the fees like on a traditional exchange, look no farther than Bitunix. I mean, if YouTube loads, so be it. But look no further than Bitunix. Whether you buy in the market, the limit, you're going to have a lot of opportunity. You won't have to pay as barely any fees. And that's worldwide, no KYC or VPN. So I would highly encourage you to take advantage of it. I've told the story a million times of how I've lost a ton of money trading on other exchanges and the swing trading and yada, yada, yada. You can join the Telegram, which is at the bottom. HOTCOIN's another good option for spot futures. You'll have a little bit more fees than Bitunix. You can send a donation, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. You can join Tom's Army, show support, or I encourage you to hit that subscribe button, as we're at 37,900 plus subscribers, and share this on social media. And before you leave, make sure to hit that like button. So for XRP this morning, make sure if you see XRP under $2.31, you're going to heighten your alert. You're going to heighten the alert senses and say, okay, well, maybe we're going to have a more significant drop, but we still have that 229 area that would have to successfully succeed for us to fall farther down. So if you see 231 drop, pay attention to that 229 area, because that would be under the pattern formation, but that's a major pivot point. If that pivot point is lost, that's where we can start to be like, uh-oh, you know, this is not good. This is not where we want to be. For Ethereum, you want to see if we can hold 2,250. If we continue coming down, that's about another 6% drop from here, roughly 6 to 7%. About $175 on the Ethereum price. And then for Bitcoin, we know it's at 103,000. We know we have underneath support, and we know we wanted to try to bounce out of here, but it looks like we had a premature breakout. I still think if it's forming an inverse head and shoulders, it's got to come down near that 88,000 possibly. And that does lead credence to what we're seeing in the rest of the charts. Like, it's not just XRP saying it needs to come down. Like, look, if Bitcoin had a 12.3% drop, nothing's going to survive the market. Nothing. So if Bitcoin drops 12%, everything's going to drop 12% at least. You know, that's just the way it ends up going. And you can see Bitcoin's down 3%. The rest of the market seems to be faring a little bit worse for most cases. XDC is faring one of the better ones, but, you know, it just it is what it is. So we'll continue to monitor this. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. I thank you all for tuning in this morning. Try not to let your emotions dictate the response, but obviously this morning it's going to be a very dicey and probably red day today. The key fact today says Bitcoin's price has risen, driven by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's remarks on ongoing federal spending, positioning Bitcoin as a hedge against inflation. It's not a good way to make Bitcoin bullish. So I wonder if that's the reason why it dropped by about $4,000 after that remark. Have a blessed day, everybody.